Thanks everybody for being here. So I'm one of the founding members of Autohive, and I'm also the VP of Marketing at Raygun and Autohive. So 2 years ago, this was us at Raygun. We had 5 full-time marketers. We had one agency that looked after our paid search and LinkedIn ads, and then all of us were working around the clock. And we were primarily focused on doing marketing for Raygun. So Raygun is an 18-year-old business that's very, I guess we have our foothold in the tech industry. We're the nerdiest of nerds. We monitor other people's software for faults and performance issues. So we're very nerdy. And if you don't know about us, just ask your software developers, they would have heard about us. We sell to an audience of global markets, and we have customers like Domino's, HBO, Virgin Holidays, Electrolux, and locally we have examples like New Zealand Police, New Zealand Elections, and many of the tech companies that we know and love. And frankly, back in 2023, our new customer numbers sucked. There's just no other way of putting it. It was also a very strange time for us in the tech industry where there was just a lot of redundancies, especially from the US. I remember it was 4 months into 2023, and there were already 100,000 people made redundant during that year. So that was a scary time. So fast forward to today then, we have only 2 full-time marketers, so that's Maddie and I. And we don't work with agencies in terms of those paid ads. We're working respectable hours, and we're looking after now Raygun as well as Autohive, because now that's the new business. And our new customers for Raygun have more than tripled during this time, and of course we also have new customers for Autohive. So at this time you might be asking, what's your secret? And since we're all eager to get to lunch, I'll get to the point. It's AI agents. But before I explore that more, let's jump in to 2 years ago. So this was at the dawn of ChatGPT, just a few months after it was released and it wasn't mainstream yet. I remember our CEO sitting all of us down at the all-hands meeting and said, right, we're going to do this thing, it's called an AI week, where everybody down tools for a week. That includes all everybody within the business. We all need to learn how to apply AI in our own business in terms of our department and our teamwork. And something magical happened. Because at the end of, at the end of day 1, our office manager was able to pass our engineering test using AI tools. Now remember, I told you, we were the nerdiest of nerds, so this was not easy. And it was some sort of interactive battleship game that you have to build from scratch. So that was magical. And then at the end of the week, we all had to come up with a feature that we could incorporate into Raygun that's going to help us in our business. And one of the features actually did get incorporated into the product, into our flagship product, and that product won Wellington Gold Awards last year for innovation. So a lot came out of that week. Everybody was buzzing. But you know me, AI week did not end for marketing. Because I still had a problem on my hands, because we had the pressure to lift our marketing numbers, and remember this was when economic situations were not very good in the tech industry. So we had to do something, because I was asked to reduce our cost to serve as well as lifting our new customer numbers. That's like telling somebody to run with their shoelaces tied, because hiring people would increase our cost to serve. So that wasn't an option. So we had to really do something different. And I remember in my team and in another team as well, we started exploring AI agents. So going back a little bit, so everybody has used an AI chatbot at this point, right? ChatGPT, you chat with it, it gives you information back, and it's really useful and it's really helpful. AI agents are basically taking that one step further, where they could hook into tools such as your email, reply to people for you, or create an agenda for you. They could update contacts in HubSpot. They could reach into Google Ads and give you recommendations. They could change things in the spreadsheet. So AI agent, you can think of AI agents as a chatbot, but more souped up, and it can connect to other systems. And during that AI week, my team and another team was playing around with some of the AI agent building tools like Make, N8N, Crew AI, those type of things. And Zapier as well. But what happened was, inevitably, at some point, sometimes it's a little bit more down the road than not, writing code was unavoidable. You have to start writing code. And so it was very much, AI agents were helpful, but they were still very much in the realm of developers. But we said we had a problem and we need to start solving it now. So we began going to our development team and said, hey, you guys are very helpful. Do you mind building out some AI agents? And of course, they were not very keen, but they did it anyway. So the first agent we built was a YouTube to blog post agent, because we had a podcast called Founder and Friends where our founder interviewed people in the industry, and this was like an hour and a half of recording. And we had to turn all this into written material, into our blog post, into our tone of voice. So this would take so long. And with this YouTube to blog post agent, we were able to, just with the YouTube URL, and turn that into a blog post in our tone of voice in about 5 seconds. So big, huge time saver. And we said adios to our agency that looked after our paid ads, because we built an AI agent that looked after our AdWords analysis. We hooked that into AdWords, and he recommended things that we should change, which looks like something like this. Sorry, it might be a little bit small to see. We also built the Raygun tone and voice agent, which at the time was a custom GPT. We built the blog image generator because we found the designers were taking 4 hours each time we had to design a blog post image in our brand. So we used Stable Diffusion to train those blog images and to produce more blog images. And we did the trial analysis agent where we reached data every time a lead comes through our system. We used to use Clearbit for this, and it was like $20,000 a year. So with this agent now, it was like fraction of a cent for every lead that we could reach. So you can see here, it's a huge amount of work that's now being automated by AI agents. So this was only a sample of the agents that we had built. We had built over 12 agents, and that's after many cupcakes as bribes later to the engineering team. So for me, it really represented one FTE, at least one FTE's worth of removing the drudgery work that really nobody wanted to do, but we had to do. And this allowed us to operate as a lean team, so reducing our cost to serve, but it also freed us to be creative again, because suddenly we could do campaigns again. So we did our Raygun's 12 Days of Christmas, and if you're a Raygun customer, you might remember this from last year. We hadn't done this campaign for 9 years because we were just in the drudgery of doing all the doing and the hustling and everything else. So we were able to use the time that AI agents have freed us up to do innovative campaigns. We incorporated our engineers as the stars of the show. We hired a designer, video designer to help us set the scene, and really our engineers became our stars, and we were very much customers focused because every day in December that year, we announced a new feature. So that was the 12 Days of Christmas. Every day had a new feature that was highly demanded from our customers, and our customer loved it. So at this point, we definitely felt we had something special, because marketing for once was pushing the boundaries in this very nerdy, tech-driven company. And the free feeling that we felt, that we experienced because of the AI agents, were the beginning of what would eventually become Autohive. So shortly after the marketing agents that we've created, a year ago, we started working on a new business unit. And we knew we wanted to bring the power of AI agents that we had personally experienced to everybody, because we had the technical chops to actually abstract all the technical stuff away. And we decided on some core principles of our AI platform very early on. First one is, of course, no code, meaning absolutely no code. Not when you get to the last step, now you have to write code. That was quite important for us. We want everybody to have the power of AI in their hands, not just the developers. Second, we want to save at least 2 to 8 hours of every user's time when they come into the platform, preferably more than that. Third was that we wanted to be LLM agnostic, because what we found was that certain LLM was good at doing certain things. For example, I really love Claude for writing, creative writing. ChatGPT wasn't so good at that, but certain other models had better image generation. So we want to be agnostic. That's why on Autohive, for $20 a month, you actually get paid versions of over 10 LLMs. So just think about that. If every LLM costs you $20, that will be $200 of value for just $20 a month. And then we wanted agents to be able to interact with agents as well, because it's all good when they can do some task, but it's more powerful when the agents can then pass the work to another agent that can do a complete loop of work. So that agent-to-agent interaction was very important to us. And we've already talked, many of the people appearing this morning had already talked about the importance of bringing and keeping humans in the loop, and that was very important for us as well. So all of our plans, including the free plans, have unlimited seats. It's not based on seat charging, it really is utilization, because we want all of your teammates to come on, and your teammates will work with your AI teammates to help get things done. And then of course, security is a big concern. We do not want our data to be trained. So we only work with LLM models that do not train your data. In fact, we had to take away some of the LLM models because we found out that they were training on customer data. So you can ensure that the security is very high there. But most importantly, we wanted to reward creativity and expertise. For example, you might want to build some AI agents on our platform to help yourself or your business. But if you've built something awesome, we want you to be able to share it with the world and be able to monetize from it as well. Because ultimately, our mission is to be the app store of AI agents. And we want to help you launch your agent to the world through our platform, benefiting millions of people who might be looking for exactly what you'll build. All right, so our story so far then. We launched 8 weeks ago. We now have over 1,000 users in 5 different countries. We currently have 25 pre-built agents that we have built ourselves, but we're looking for more creators on the platform. And we're aiming for 1,000 by the end of the financial year. We have over 20 integrations, and we're aiming for 500 by the end of the financial year. We have been featured on Superhuman AI newsletter, that's very popular. We're collaborating with AI educators to help educate New Zealand on AI literacy. We're collaborating with agencies to help deploy AI to their clients and their work. And lastly, but most importantly, the marketplace is coming soon, and we can't wait to have everybody working on our platform and building awesome things. So now, hopefully this works. I'm going to do a little demo now, just so that you can see how easy it is to get set up on Autohive. Is it going to play? Cool. So this is the anatomy of a AI agent. So you have a image avatar. You can choose one of our own. You have a name. You have an introduction to your agent in terms of what it does. You can choose the LLM models. So as you can see, there's a lot to choose from. You can choose the model number as well. And then you can choose temperature, which is how creative do you want your agent to be. And that scale is from 0 to 1 being the most creative. So that's all in your hands too. And then there's agent instructions further down below, which allows you to put in your prompts. And you might be intimidated, but I'll show you in the next video how you don't have to do a thing. And then there's hours saved per conversation with the agent, so you know how much time you've saved while interacting with this one. You can hook onto many integrations here, as you can see. We've got more integrations coming soon, but these are the available ones. And you can also have other agents as capabilities as well, so you can utilize that agent-to-agent ability too. And you can give it the ability to search the internet. And you can also embed any business logic, documents, things like that, that you want the agent to be able to access. And then you go create, and that's it. That's how you make an agent. It's very easy. Whoops. All right, next one. All right, now I want to give you an idea of how to use an agent. How to use the prompt writer to help you write the prompt that you saw. So you go to the agents, you browse agents, you have the list of 25 agents that was pre-made. You go and find one that's called prompt writer, and you go get agent. So this agent helps you to write the prompt. You don't need to do a thing. You tell it what you want it to write. Similar to chatting with ChatGPT. So I've got an example here where I've put in our persona document from Raygun, and I've asked it to give me the prompt that I need to make each of the persona an agent. So now it's thinking, and it realizes that there are many different personas, and I've forgotten to attach the PDF, so I did that, and I've given it a bit more information. And then I ask it, hello, you are there, because it's still doing thinking, and I thought it was going too slowly. And now from the document I've prepared, it's now extracted all of the information, and it's creating assets, which are basically prompts for you to put into your agent that I just showed. So it's created an agent, it's telling you what to do, and it's created prompts for all of the personas, which there are 4 of. Do you want any changes to be made? And I said, yep, I want to be able to comment on our marketing collateral, because I'm in marketing, that's what I care about. And I want them to have an opinion. So now it's regenerated that. I'm now clicking into one for Tim, which is our primary persona. It's now giving the commercial, giving it all the details, goals, aspirations, how they like to communicate, all the pain points, frustrations, attitudes, behaviors, what the interests are, and how we want the agent to respond when it comes to marketing stuff, just to be helpful to our marketing team. Now I can copy that, and I can go back to the agent creator screen before and just dump that prompt in. And I also wanted to know what each LLM, what each the persona would have in terms of the LLM and model as well, because I don't want to do a thing. I want the prompt agent to give me everything. So now it's gone through, it's looked at each one, each of the personas, and it's provided me with what model I should choose and what temperature I should set each persona at. So I didn't need to do a thing. It chose that for me. So I did that, and I said, can you please give me a 1-sentence introduction for each of the personas, for that 1-sentence introduction about the agents. So it's written all of that for me. So all I need to do was copy and paste onto the other screen, and my 4 agents were made. This was all done in about 2 minutes for each agent. And now looking at going into Tim now, which I've built, I'll show you the agent instructions so you know exactly what happened. So I took Tim's name and picture. I took the introduction that was written for Tim by the prompt writer. I put in the LLM and the LLM model that he suggested, but I could change that if I wanted to. And now I've given the temperature that it's asked me to set, which is 0.7. So quite creative. Tim is quite creative, which is good. And this is the prompt that it's given me from the prompt writer. I did not write any of that. That was all from the prompt writer agent. And I've given it some more capabilities in terms of integrations, and I allow it to access the internet. And now I saved it into my workspace, and now Tim, the agent, is ready to go for me to interact with. Cool. Okay, next one. So this is an interesting one, because now I have 4 agents, each one representing one of my personas. I want them to interact with each other. So I asked him, what do you think of Raygun's website? And Tim gave me some opinions and thoughts, which is great. He's very diplomatic. Not every persona is like that. So then I said, what can Raygun change to make the homepage more appealing to you? Give me 2 options for the homepage copy and explain your rationale. And now it's given me some options based on what appeals to him. And here are the suggested copy. Here's the rationale why I think that should apply. This is all from the agent, from the prompt writer that wrote all of this. Right. Now I'm tagging in the next persona, which is Emily, the efficient solver. So she's our secondary persona. So I said, what do you think about this? And I want opinion on what Tim had just said. So she suggested some other changes to the homepage copy and why it works for her. All I did was @ Emily, and she came into the chat. So now Tim has jumped back in and gave an opinion about Emily's opinion. I didn't need to do anything. He just wanted to jump in. So he said that was a really good approach, and I think this approach works because he appeals to me and it doesn't stop Emily from feeling like left out, because that approach also works for her. So now I'm tagging Harry, which is a bit different. And I said, you want to chime in? This is an executive type of style, and they want ROI and things like that. So he had very different thoughts to how our homepage should work, right? So he said his piece, and he said that was his observation about what they were saying. And now I'm tagging in the last persona, which is usually the first person who is being sent into Raygun, which is typically a senior developer, and probably has the least amount of ability to sign off on our product. And I said, can you help me with the copy here, and what do you think about what everybody else said? So he went and engaged with the content. So all very good stuff, because he actually is what we need to do. So that helps me solve some of the problems that we might be having. All right, and finally, now that everybody said their piece, I'm tagging in the Raygun voice and tone agent, and I said, summarize this, now rewrite the homepage for me in our tone and voice. And he did it. Cool. All right, finally I want to demonstrate something quite cool, which is our scheduling. Is it going to play? Oh no, let's loop back to the old one. Oh. Is it playing? Yep, so you can schedule jobs as well. So here, I want Tim to give me a weekly campaign idea. So I've chosen Tim, the technical leader agent. I wanted to start next week. And I want that report in Slack at 8 a.m. I'm having trouble finding the 8. Here we go. And I want it every week. All right, and I have other options as well. And then I give it a little bit of that job description I want. So please send a weekly Slack message to me, giving marketing teams at Raygun some ideas about some campaign we could run that really appeals to you. And I want it the following. I want, what's the big idea? Describe it. What's the duration I should look at? Why it works? Why he would like it? And any related campaign that I should think about. All right, it's done. Cool. All right. This is the output I got in Slack. I manually triggered one because obviously it doesn't start until next Monday. So it's given me some ideas, exactly with the headings that I've just set. That's all from Tim, our persona. So that's being very personalized to exactly who we want to attract. So my time is nearly up. So I want to leave you with a visual. So our vision at Autohive is to let 1,000 flowers bloom, creating a future where millions of new businesses, creators, and ideas can flourish. This is the very heart of Resonance. It's about scaling genuine helpfulness by embedding your experience into an agent and placing this power in the hands of innovators everywhere. We're building a future where work is truly agentic. Thanks, everybody.